Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Helping me out as animal wrangler today is our volunteer coordinator, Sean Snyder, and he's over there with Raina. Raina is one of the many pit bulls that we have available for adoption right now. She is 1 year old. She is here with her sister Shadow, who's been on the show previously, and then their other sister was here several months ago and actually adopted. You might remember Sharpay. So these guys are now looking for their forever homes. As you can see, Raina has a lot of energy. And she doesn't really know very much as far as training is concerned. So she and Shadow both are really going to need somebody that's going to devote the time to giving them the training that they need and require and deserve, so that they can walk nicely on leash, so that they can sit and behave the way that you want them to behave when they're out in public or when you have people over in your home. They are 1 year old, so this is Raina's full size. She's a nice small dog, so she's only about 50 pounds. Not going to get any bigger, so if that's a concern for you, she's a good size. She has a lot of energy, so she's going to really need to go to a family who can take on all of that energy, have a way for her to expend that, whether it's running around in the backyard or going for long walks, hikes, going to the dog park, all of those things. Because she has lived with other dogs before, and she's even been housed with her sister here in our kennels, she does get along with other dogs, but it's always important to introduce your animals properly to other animals, just to make sure there's not going to be any negative interactions. As far as our assessment of Raina, she's very friendly. She comes right up to the front of the kennel when you walk by. In the kennel, when other dogs are walking by, she barks at them. But when she's outside the kennel, she doesn't have any issues with her interactions with other dogs. She likes to be petted. She's easy to obtain. Like most of the dogs, especially the pit bulls here, she does pull when she walks on her leash, so a harness would be a good idea for her. She doesn't have any issues with food aggression or anything, so she will be a nice little project dog for somebody who wants to work on training with a young dog. If you are interested in adding Raina or any of the dogs that are adults, meaning they are from 1 year to 5 years old, they are adopted out for an adoption fee of $92.50. If you are interested in adding a dog like Raina to your family, please stop in and visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Our next guest is Javon, and he's one of our longtime residents here at the shelter. Javon has a bit of a sad story because he came to us pretty emaciated, so we've been working on getting some weight on him here at the shelter. To do that, Javon's been on 3 feedings a day instead of our normal 2 feedings for our dogs. He's very sweet, very affectionate. He's a huge, he's the wiggle butt here at the shelter. He wiggles all the way from his head to his tail, and he loves to play. He loves toys. He can destroy a Kong or something in less than a day. So if you're planning on taking Javon home, you might want to make sure that you have a large toy budget. He does have a lot of energy, so like all of the other kind of pit bull mixes that we have, somebody who's going to be able to provide them with an outlet for all of their energy. Javon's pretty content sitting at home playing with a toy by himself, but he does like to go out and walk and play in the play yard and do all of those things. Because Javon had little access to food. He is a little food reactive, so that's why we have suggested that he go to a home where there are older children or adults only, just because little kids might not understand that, you know, the dog is eating to leave him alone. Stick your hands in the bowl and stuff like that. Dogs that have that kind of mild food reactivity might nip at the hands because they're protecting their food, or they just eat whatever's in the bowl. So if you put your hand in the bowl, they're gonna bite at your hand, those types of things. But otherwise, we haven't had any problems with him here. As far as the information that we had, he's friendly, he's energetic, playful, and all of our volunteers and staff have given him pretty positive reports as far as his behavior. We always behavior assess all of the dogs here, and our assessment says, that he's very friendly, he reacts favorably to other dogs. If they bark at him, then he's going to bark back, but he's easy to obtain. He leans in and enjoys touch. He's very playful. So he's going to be a great dog. You just have to understand his special needs in regards to his diet and how he associates food. If you're prepared to take all of that on, you can stop in and visit with Javon and see if he's going to be the right fit for your house. Javon is part of our September promotion, so if you were to adopt Javon, he would actually be $20 off this month. So instead of the normal $92.50 adoption fee for Javon, he would be going home for $72.50 during the month of September. This beautiful dog is Pearl, and she is a Catahoula mix. She's got that beautiful blue Merlin white coat, and she's about 2 to 3 years old, but she's got tons of energy. She came to us as a stray, so we don't know very much about her, just kind of figuring that stuff out as we get to know her here at the shelter. What I've noticed is that she does have a lot of energy. She can pull a little bit on her leash, so a harness would be a fantastic idea for her. Based on the assessment that she got from our animal care staff, we have noticed that when you're doing things that she doesn't like, as far as trimming her nails or vaccinating her, those types of things, she's very nervous when you try to do those things, and she kind of backs away from you. She gets a little scared. For those reasons, they have suggested that she go to a home with older children or adults only, just kind of for the same reasons as many of the other dogs that have been on the show. If young children don't understand how to read the dog's body language or aren't listening when their parents tell them the dogs don't like that, then the kids could get hurt, or the dogs could get hurt for that matter. Another thing about Pearl that we've noticed is that she doesn't really pay attention to what's in her food bowl. She will eat anything that's in her food bowl, so whether that's a toy or food or treats or fingers, she'll nibble at those. So that's another reason why we want to make sure she's not going to a home with a large number of small children. She's very friendly. She has no reaction to other dogs. I was actually walking her recently. She saw other dogs, and all she wanted to do was play with those dogs. Her interactions with the other dogs that she was close to were very friendly, very playful, all positive reactions. She does really pull very hard, so a harness would be a great idea for her. She has a relaxed body. When you pet her, she does kind of lean in a little bit. She has seemed a little shy when she's just getting to know someone, but she warms up very quickly and then is in your lap. Just a little standoffish for like a couple seconds, and then boom, she's in your lap. She thinks she's your new best friend. She is something a little more exotic, if you will, than what we normally get in the shelter, so she probably will get adopted very quickly. So if you're interested in taking Pearl home and making her part of your family, you want to make sure that you stop in and don't wait, and visit with her and see if she's going to be a good match for you and your family. Again, you can do that here at the shelter, and we are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Marlene came to the shelter as a stray with her brother Max. Max is now scheduled for adoption, but Marlene is still waiting for her new forever home. She's about 10 to 11 months old. She's got a beautiful brindle and white coat, and she has since she is a puppy, she would be adopted through our puppy process, which means that we take up to 4 applications for all of our puppies. That's anything under a year old, and their application would ask you more questions. Have you raised a puppy before? Are you familiar with the breed? Do you have plans for house training, and what are you going to do with them when you're not home all day, and those types of things. Our puppies are also adopted out for a fee of $150 instead of our adult dog price. If you were interested in taking Marlene home and making her part of your family, we always encourage everybody to come in and visit with her. That even means having your existing dog visit with Marlene. Anytime that you want to take one of our shelter dogs and make them a second, third, or fourth, however many dog to your home, we always encourage that you bring your dog to the shelter and meet them with our dog. That's a great indication of how they're going to get along if it's something that you can work with. Not every animal likes a new animal the first time they meet, but it does let you know if it's not going to work at all. Marlene did come in with her brother, so she is used to spending time with another dog. She gets along well with other dogs. When we do our behavior assessment, we found that she gets excited when she sees other dogs. She barks a little bit, but that's not uncommon. She's very friendly. She's a little bit shy and nervous when she's walking through the kennel where the other dogs are. She kind of darts back and forth, so some leash work with her would be great, getting her to learn to walk next to you, not to pull and things of that nature. She's no issues with food aggression. She likes her toys. She loves to be petted. She has tons of great qualities. She is just a very sweet and inquisitive dog, according to our staff who spend a great deal of time working with the animals. One thing that you will notice is when you're interacting with her is that she does have a malformed toe on her left hind foot. It doesn't seem to bother her. It's just something that makes her a little special, a little unique. It's kind of a quirky thing. Like many people like polydactyl cats because they're special. This is Marlene's kind of special quirk that she has. If you are interested in making her part of your family, again, visiting here with her at the shelter is the first step to doing that. Our hours of operation are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. The kennels are open from 10 to 5. On Wednesday and Thursday, they're open from 12 to 8. And on Saturday, they are open from 10 to 4. Our last dog guest that we have for you today is Grace, and she is our longest dog resident here at the shelter. She came to us when she was just about 11 months old, and she actually celebrated her first birthday here with us. We want this to be the last birthday that she celebrates with us. We want her to spend all of her other ones with a loving family in her forever home. Grace is a beautiful white and tan pit bull mix. She's a bit of a big girl, so she could go with a diet. Her previous owner brought her to us because their other dog in the home just wasn't getting along with Grace. Not necessarily anything that Grace was doing. It was more about the other dog. But since it was not going to be a healthy situation for any of the animals in the home, they brought Grace to us so that we could find her a new home. They referred to her as a 70-pound kind of lap dog. She wants to jump up on you, give you hugs, cuddle with you. But as you can see, she has lots and lots of energy. Again, just like all of the other dogs that we were really talking about today on the show, she needs a home that somebody's going to be able to find a way for her to get out and get her zoomies out, get some exercise. She has had the benefit of going to puppy camp. There's a local trainer that often needs dogs to help train other trainers. So Grace and Jupiter and some of the other dogs here at the shelter were part of that program. So she's had some basic training, and there's a packet that would be going home with Grace from that. But she could use some refreshers on all the training things that she learned. In that packet, it would go over information about things that Grace needs to work on, how they were training her so that you can continue that process at home to get Grace to be a good greeter of other dogs out in public, other people out in public, and then in your home as well. She loves to play with toys. She's very affectionate, very sweet, but she is just a big bundle of energy because she is pretty much still a puppy. Because she's an adult now, she would be adopted for our adult adoption fee, which would be that $92.50. And she is also one of our dogs on promotion for this month, so she would be $20 off if you were to make her part of your family during the month of September. Again, stop in and visit Grace here at the shelter. After the break, we are going to show you some great felines and a rabbit that are looking for their forever homes as well.
Did you know a person can have colorectal cancer and yet have no symptoms? Symptoms of colorectal cancer may include bleeding, blood in the stool, abdominal pain or mass, and changes in bowel movements. Ask your doctor if you should be screened for colorectal cancer. Call the Frederick County Health Department at 301-600-3362 for more information or for free colorectal cancer screening for eligible individuals.
Welcome back. Our first feline guest is one of our younger guests. This is Chester. He's about 4 months old now. He's been in the shelter approximately a month now, and he's starting to grow up here, and we really don't want any of the young kittens to spend their entire childhoods here in the shelter. So we'd like to get Chester and some of the other kittens that are still lingering from kitten season into nice, loving homes. Chester was part of our foster care program. So he spent a lot of time being socialized in a home with other animals. So he's heard dogs before. I'm not sure what his interaction with the dogs was, but he's heard them, smelled them. He had some other foster siblings. He wasn't a huge fan of some of his foster siblings, but when you're introducing one new cat to an existing cat, it's important just to take it slow, give them, supervised time where they're interacting, and then give them that time apart so they can kind of regroup. It's also important to understand that they don't have to be best friends. So if you wanted to take Chester as a second or third cat, just know that he can hang out by himself as long as he interacts with you and he's getting the attention and love that he needs. He doesn't have to get that kind of emotional support from any of the other animals in your home. Chester is a very active kitten. He runs back and forth between his little double cage. He's always into his toys. He's kind of, he can be a little sassy sometimes too, things to know. It's important for everyone in your family to visit when you're coming here and thinking of adding a pet to your home. So if you have kids, mom and dad can't just make that decision alone. The kids have to come in and be okay with the animals. Sometimes when kittens are a little too rambunctious, they don't do well with certain members of the family. We want to make sure that it's a good fit for everyone. But Chester wants to get down, he wants to explore, he wants to play. That's just typical kitten behavior. But like all cats, he can have those sweet moments where he wants to kind of cuddle and hang out. Kittens are still figuring out their personalities. So from 1 week to the next, they could be completely different. It's not until they get to be, close to that year-old mark where they start to settle down and you really get to figure out what their true personality and character is going to be. But Chester is a very cute, very sweet tuxedo cat, full of energy. If you're looking for that kind of spark to make your house complete, you can stop in and visit with him here at the shelter. Again, we are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Parthenon is our next guest. He came to us as a stray. He's a domestic shorthair. He's white with brown tabby. He's got great markings on his ears. They kind of, his tabby spots, one on each side of his head by his ear there. He's got beautiful yellow-green eyes. They really stand out against the white on his face. He's a handsome guy. I've seen a lot of volunteers interacting with him. He seems to really like the attention. He's okay with being held. One of the things that I've noticed recently is that he wants to explore well beyond his cage. So he's going to be very inquisitive in a new home. He's always trying to get out of his cage and look around and see what's going on the rest of the adoption floor. Because he is a stray, we don't know what his interactions have been with dogs or cats or any other types of pets. So that's always going to be something that you're going to have to work with. It's going to be an unknown if you're introducing him to a home with a dog or another cat. He hasn't seemed to have too many problems with his neighbors as far as growling or hissing at the cages next to him or anything like that. He is about 2 to 3 years old, so his personality is pretty set, but he's still very young, still very active. He definitely is going to be one of those cats that's going to play with you a lot. We haven't really seen him as a lap cat. We do have some lap cats on the show if that's what you're interested in. All of our cats and kittens are adopted for an adoption fee of $97.50. That includes all of the medical care that we provide for them. All of our animals would be spayed or neutered before they leave. They are also microchipped. We provide them with their rabies vaccine, distemper vaccines, county licenses. We deworm them when they first arrive, and we also give them flea and tick preventative. When you adopt from us, you also get a free well visit to one of our participating vets. That's almost every vet in Frederick County that participates with us, so they will provide that service to you, all for that $97.50 adoption fee. Just like some of the dogs were discounted this month, we also have a large selection of cats that are adopted this month, so you want to check our promotional flyers that are hanging out all throughout the building to see if any of those cats that you might be interested in are part of that promotion. Again, if you're interested in visiting and adopting any of our animals, stop in at the shelter and visit. We are open Monday through Saturday. A lot of people come to the shelter and they're looking to adopt lap cats. And if you're looking for a lap cat, then Bryce is going to be one of the best choices that we have available for you. He's still a very young cat at just a year old, but what he's doing right now is kind of, in my experience, what he wants to do. I was trying to take his picture recently. He crawled right out of his cage immediately onto my lap, wanted to be petted, wanted to squirm around. He's kneading all the time, very happy, purring. At one point he was drooling a little bit. He's just a very content, affectionate guy, and this is where he wants to be. Because he is so young, he still likes to play. He was very willing to play with me. But he wanted to be on my lap, be close, be cuddly, and that's, you know, how he's going to be. He's about a year old, so we know that this is his personality. I even talked to some of the other people that work here and was like, is this how he always is? And they were like, yes. He was previously owned, but unfortunately the owner did not provide us with a profile for him, so we're just kind of figuring it out as we go along. He was brought to us unneutered, just like all of the animals. We'll make sure that that gets taken care of before he leaves here, before he goes home with his new family. He doesn't seem to have any issues as far as I've seen with the other animals in the shelter. Sometimes you can see them kind of hissing at the other animals when they're at the corners of their cage and stuff like that. He hasn't been doing that as far as I've seen. He's just a really sweet guy who's looking for that second chance at a forever home. He's going to make someone an amazing pet, especially if you're looking for that cat that's going to kind of be your sidekick and want to hang out with you and just be part of your family every day. Some of our cats are more independent, but as far as I've seen, Bryce is going to be more that's going to spend time with the family, not necessarily be off by himself. If that's what you're after, please stop in and visit with Bryce. And make him part of your family. He would be adopted for a fee of $97.50 if you were to select him to be part of your family. Another possible lap cat for potential adopters is Snickers. She is a recent addition to the adoption floor. But when I was trying to take her photo for her Facebook profile, she immediately came out of her cage, was trying to climb on my shoulder, wanted to be held, wanted to be cuddled. I'd put her back, she'd come right back out, pick her up, hold her. That was where she was happiest. She is about 2 years old. She also came to us previously owned, but again, we don't have a profile for her, just like we didn't have a profile for Bryce. She is a Torby. For people who don't understand that, most Torbys are essentially like 99.9% are going to be female. There are calicos, torties, and then torbies. Torbies have the coloring of a tortie, but then they have those tabby cat stripes. So you can see she's got the kind of blacks and oranges in there, and then she's got still all of the striping that makes her torbies. And all of those types of cats are female. And then they're kind of also known for having a little bit of sass to them, but I haven't seen any of that with Snickers. She's very affectionate. She wants to purr and cuddle up with you. As you can see right now, she's kneading. She's not trying to get down. She's very content. She's showing Sean where she wants to be petted. She's rubbing up against him. So she's going to be a cat that's probably going to transition very easily into a loving home. Again, she's going to be one of those ones that wants to hang out with your family and be with you, not be as aloof and independent as some of the other cats that we might have on the adoption floor. She is, at 2 years old, full grown. She only weighs just under 7 pounds. So if you kind of want that cat that's the forever kitten, then Snickers is going to be a good choice for you. She's going to have that sweet little kitten face forever. Very sweet, very affectionate. Just needs a loving home to make her life complete. If you wanted to take her on, again, we would make sure that she's spayed before she leaves. She's already been microchipped. You're going to get all of those great benefits that we provide as far as medical care and that free well visit to the vet. The last guest that we have for you today is one of the many small animals that we have available for adoption. A lot of people don't realize that in addition to the typical cats and dogs, we also have rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. Sometimes we get gerbils, ferrets sometimes, chinchillas, turtles. We get a lot of different animals. Anything that's a domesticated animal can be brought here, and then we try to find homes or rescues for those animals. Bugatti is one of 9 rabbits that are living at the shelter right now. Fortunately, 2 of those rabbits, longtime resident Sunny and Bugatti's sister Portia, are scheduled to be adopted, but that still leaves 7 rabbits that need loving homes. Bugatti, despite his size, is actually still a baby. He's between 7 and 8 months old, and he is a Flemish Giant mix. Flemish Giants are one of the largest breeds of domesticated rabbit. Some purebred giants can be up to 20 pounds. You want to make sure that if you're interested in taking him on, that you're prepared to deal with the fact that he's going to be about the size of your cat, maybe even the size of your small dog. Because right now he's weighing in at 8 pounds, 6 ounces, and that's bigger than the last cat that we just had on the show. So he's a big guy, but he is very sweet, very affectionate. He's very easy to handle. If you're thinking about adding a rabbit to your home and you've never had a rabbit, Bugatti would be a great first rabbit pet for you. Sometimes rabbits, when you're picking them up, they can kick a little bit. Bugatti doesn't kick at all. He's very happy to sit on a lap. He's got a very calm demeanor. He likes to be handled. He's very tolerant. So he's going to be great if you're not used to dealing with that. Just like any of our other animals, when we send them home, we do a little bit of an adoption interview with everyone. We have our rabbit person that comes in and will talk to you about how to pick up and handle the rabbits, how to feed them, what kind of cage setup they should have. So you're going to get a lot of information if you've never owned one before. But if you're looking to add a rabbit to your home, Bugatti would be a great first rabbit, or just a great rabbit for anyone. He's very sweet, very calm, very handleable. And he's just one of many. We have white rabbits, we have, he's a Flemish Giant mix, we have Lionhead mixes, we have American rabbit mixes, we have them in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So now is a great time to come in and visit the shelter if that's the pet that you're looking for. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Pet Pals. Be sure to tune in next week, where we're going to introduce you to 10 new animals that are looking for their forever homes.